Hey everyone, Reed here at Big Strong Book, here today to talk about Book 1 of Homer's Iliad, the Rage of Achilles. So this is an idea that I've had for a little while. I've been wanting to get back into reading epic poetry and doing it on a more regular basis. In thinking about video ideas, I thought it might be interesting to go through these big poems and texts one part at a time rather than trying to, do a big review encompassing just about every single component within these things. So that's what I decided to do. And in with going through these poems, I figured got to start with Homer, the Homeric epics of the Iliad and the Odyssey. And even though I know the gist of both of the stories, I can't say that I've actually sat down and read both Iliad and Odyssey start to finish. And then moving past that, hopefully in the future, get around to Virgil's Aeneid or the Ennead, Ovid's Metamorphosis, Dante's Divine Comedy, works of that sort. That's kind of, I think, that's a good track, the standard track, without getting too overwhelmed with things. But anyways, Iliad is the best spot to start. It makes sense. It happens within the Trojan War, and I believe, if I remember correctly, with the Odyssey taking place in the direct aftermath of the Trojan War. And so we begin with the Rage of Achilles, and of course, we start off with an invocation to the muse, but it begins with rage, almost as if Homer is saying, "Rage, goddess, sing the rage of Peleus' son, Achilles, murderous doomed, that cost the Achaeans countless losses, hurling down to the house of death so many sturdy souls, great fighters' souls, but made their bodies carrion feasts for the dogs and birds, because after all we have this conflict between Achilles and King Agamemnon. We have Achilles the runner. That's how he's referred to. He is this figure, this soldier, this leader of obviously of rage and of passion within that, of almost wanting justice to be at hand, but that at the same time, though, when that justice is served, it comes at the cost of him, as we'll see in a little bit here. But this whole thing kicks off with Agamemnon in the process of this war taking the daughter of Chrysis, and I believe her name is pronounced Chryseis, hostage, which angers Chrysis, obviously, and he is a priest of Apollo. And so he invokes Apollo to begin this plague upon the Achaean fighters and soldiers. And so they start just dropping like flies, to the point that Achilles and Agamemnon get into this heated argument. And a lot of this book is in their back and forth with some of, I believe it is of Hector, or not Hector, I'm confusing my characters, he hasn't showed up yet, of Nestor getting in the middle of it and, kind of trying to calm both of them down. And we have appearances of the gods in here. It's not they are not just being invoked, but they are being invoked to then be brought down to become central players. And at first, it is within the mortal realm that they're being brought down. We have Apollo being invoked, and then we have Athena. Athena is not even really invoked. It's more just she sees what the rage of Achilles is capable of, and so then comes down to stop him. Then later on, we have Agamemnon making up his mind. He's going to return Chryseis, but he's also going to take Achilles' slave, and her name, again, if I get these pronunciations correct, her name, I want to say, is Briseis, but I might be wrong. But it stirs Achilles on, and he realizes that she's gone. He realizes that Agamemnon is still slighting him, and it's this difference between the two men who are ostensibly, fighting for the same end. Their differences are clear. They kind of Achilles is the leader of one group, and Agamemnon the leader of another, or at least that is what is intuited through this. But then Achilles calling upon Thetis, his mother, for her to petition Zeus, that Zeus can get involved. Achilles, I think, even though he has encountered some of the minor players, they've encountered Apollo already, and then he's encountered personally Athena. And so for then Thetis to then go to Zeus is, getting the highest of the high involved in this argument. And we then, it's almost like a mirror image when then the focus at the end of this book, of the end of the Rage of Achilles, then shifts to Olympus, and of course to Hera and Zeus, kind of getting back and forth. Hera knows this conflict. She almost is like egging him on a little bit, but Zeus is, I feel like in almost every story, every Greek myth we know, it's almost like Zeus is either akin to Achilles in his rage, or he is constantly in between a rock and a hard place, wanting to inflict pain upon others who inflict pain on those who invoke his name or invoke his assistance. And we get this kind of like, it's almost like a last happy family portrait at the end. We get, Hephaestus, the master craftsman, obviously, and all of them are having this moment. And I'll read kind of the end of it here. That hour then and all day long till the sun went down they feasted, and no god's hunger lacked a share of the handsome banquet, where the gorgeous lyre Apollo struck, where the muses singing, voice to voice inquires their vibrant music rising. So we get the music of the muses already invoked, singing of the rage. Granted, that is the poet invoking, but then we get the vibrant music rising, this boiling conflict that of course will be the Iliad is still to come. At last, when the sun's fiery light had set, each mortal went to rest in his own house. The splendid high halls Hephaestus built for each, with all his craft and cunning, the famous crippled smith. And Olympian Zeus, the lord of lightning, went to his own bed, where he had always lain when welcome sleep came on him. Then he climbed, and there he slept, and by his side lay Hera the queen, the goddess of the golden throne. It's peaceable. It's a peaceful ending to, as we get into book 2, the great gathering of the armies. So that's where I'll kind of leave off. These videos hopefully will all be around this length and short. The Iliad has 24 books, and they're all around 20 to 30 pages, so manageable in kind of quick little sittings. This is the Robert Fagel's translation, the Penguin Deluxe Edition. I've had my eye on this for a while. It's probably the best seller among all more widely known and available copies or modern translations of the Iliad. I say modern, I believe he did this in the 60s or 70s. I might be wrong, or he did it, or maybe in the early 90s. But Fagel's, it says, died in 2008. So these translations are a little more than 30 years old at the very earliest, at the very least. And so yeah, this is a longer text. I think the Odyssey has fewer lines, and the Iliad maybe fewer still. But this begins kind of, I want to say the Odyssey, but no, such begins this Odyssey through the Iliad. Hopefully I can get these up with great frequency. We'll see. So if you have read the Iliad, if you have read book 1 of it, let me know what you think. And as always, I will see you guys next time.